The crystalline halls of the Verthani imperial palace gleamed with bioluminescent light as Princess Zareth strode through the diplomatic chamber, her four eyes glinting with barely concealed contempt. Before her stood Jack Chun, a human diplomat representing Earth's fledgling coalition, his weathered face calm despite the obvious hostility radiating from the young princess. "A human warrior," Zareth scoffed, her translucent wings fluttering with amusement. "How quaint. Tell me, primitive, do your people still fight with chemical propellants and metal projectiles?" Jack remained silent, his hands clasped behind his back. Beside him, Emma Rodriguez, Earth's xenobiological specialist, felt her jaw tighten. She had studied the Verthani for 3 years, knew their customs, understood their rigid hierarchy. But nothing had prepared her for the sheer arrogance of the Emperor's youngest daughter. "Your Highness," Emma interjected carefully, "Commander Chun has come in good faith to discuss the mining rights in the Kepler sector." Silence. "Female," Zareth hissed, her elegant neck extending forward. "I did not grant you permission to speak. Your species has been spacefaring for barely 2 centuries. We have ruled the stars for 50,000 years. What could you possibly offer us besides entertainment?" The princess circled Jack like a predator, her chitinous armor clicking softly with each step. "I've read your military records, human. You fought in something called the Titan War. How adorable. A conflict over a single moon? My people conquered 17 galaxies before your ancestors crawled from the oceans." Emma watched Jack's expression remain unchanged, though she knew him well enough to see the tension in his shoulders. They had served together on the colony ship Perseverance, had survived the Centauri plague outbreak, had watched friends die in the cold vacuum of space. Jack Chin was many things, but weak was not among them. "The Verthani respect strength," Zareth continued, her voice dripping with mockery. "Yet you send us this ... specimen, gray in his hair, lines on his face. Past your prime, warrior. Or were you never worthy of that title?" The chamber doors suddenly irised open with a sound like thunder. Empress Calenthea entered, her massive form dwarfing even her daughter. Where Zareth's exoskeleton shimmered with youthful iridescence, the Empress's armor bore the scars of 1,000 battles, each mark a testament to her 4-century reign. "Mother!" Zareth straightened immediately, her wings folding in deference. "I was merely educating our ... guests about their place in the galactic order." The Empress's primary eyes fixed on Jack, then Emma, before returning to her daughter. When she spoke, her voice resonated through the chamber like a funeral drum. "You mock the human warrior, daughter?" "I merely speak truth, Empress. They are weak, their technology primitive, their lifespans..." Silence. The single word carried the weight of absolute authority. Kale Cynthia approached Jack slowly, studying him with an intensity that made Emma's skin crawl. "Commander Chun, you served at the Battle of Titan Ridge, yes?" Jack nodded once. "Yes, Your Majesty. My intelligence officers investigated that engagement. 17,000 defenders against 400,000 Krill invaders. The Krill, as you may know, are a species we ourselves have failed to fully subjugate in 10 millennia of trying." The Empress's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "Yet you humans stopped them. With outdated weapons, with no shields. With nothing but determination and what you call tactics." Zareth's confidence wavered. "Mother, surely you're not suggesting—" "I am suggesting, daughter, that you are a fool." Kale Cynthia's voice cut through the air like a blade. "The Krill broke against human lines because these primitives understand something you have forgotten in your pampered existence. They know that victory belongs not to the strongest, but to those willing to pay the highest price." The Empress turned to her daughter fully now, her massive form casting Zareth in shadow. "Commander Cheon lost his entire battalion holding the northern ridge. He held for 72 hours without sleep, without relief, watching his soldiers die one by one. And when the Krill finally breached his position, do you know what he did?" Zareth said nothing, her earlier bravado evaporating. "He detonated the ammunition depot with himself inside it, killing 10,000 Krill and buying time for the evacuation. He should have died." Kale Cynthia gestured to Jack. But humans, daughter, are remarkably difficult to kill. They rebuilt him, and he returned to service. Emma watched as understanding dawned on the princess's face, followed swiftly by horror. Kneel, the empress commanded her daughter. Kneel before the human warrior and beg his forgiveness for your ignorance. Mother, I am a princess of the Verthani Empire. You are a child playing at politics. Kale Cynthia's roar shook the chamber walls. You understand nothing of war, nothing of sacrifice, nothing of the strength it takes to stand against impossible odds with nothing but flesh and will. These humans conquered their own planet, survived their own self-inflicted near extinction, and reached for the stars with chemical rockets and dreams. And you dare to mock them? Zareth trembled, then slowly, painfully, lowered herself to the ground before Jack, her proud head bowing low. Forgiveness, Commander Chun, I spoke in ignorance. Jack looked down at the princess, then at Emma, who gave him a subtle nod. He reached down, offering his hand to Zareth. Stand, Your Highness. We all have much to learn from each other. The Empress's mandibles spread in what Emma had learned to recognize as a smile. Well spoken, Commander. Dr. Rodriguez, I believe we have much to discuss regarding those mining rights. And perhaps a military exchange program? As Zareth accepted Jack's hand and rose, humbled but wiser, Emma allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had just taken another step forward among the stars, not through weapons or threats, but through the quiet strength that had always defined them, the strength to endure, the strength to sacrifice, the strength to extend mercy even to those who showed none, the strength that made humanity, fuck yeah, worthy of the stars.